Hello and welcome to this Money Control live presentation on Closing Bell. I am Yatin Mota. As always, I am with you in the Closing Bell to take you through the action which happened in the markets today. As far as Indian markets are concerned, some good news flowing in. We have crossed the budget day highs and have been able to successfully trade about that 18,000 level on the Nifty. Thanks to big boy Reliance Industries, which has been the top gainer since the last 2-3 trading sessions in terms of the index contribution. And today also the stock was up nearly 2%, on the back of which we could break that important resistance level of 18,000 as far as the bulls are concerned. Obviously, if you look at the markets today, and I will take you through the action as far as Nifty and Bank Nifty are concerned. Here also we saw some good moves coming in. Nifty on a provisional basis has closed above that 18,000 mark, in fact 15 points higher than the 18,000 mark, 86 points up where the Nifty closed right now. In terms of the gainers, we had the real estate stocks, IT stocks and auto stocks contributing significantly to the Nifty uptick today. Nifty Bank also spiked in the last 15-20 minutes of trade, 82 points up for the Nifty Bank as well. And mid cap and small caps are trying to make a comeback after the losses that have mounted in the last 2 or 3 trading sessions. Advance decline ratio also became healthy because we opened gap down on the fears that inflation would be a cause of worry, because if you look at Indian inflation data or the US inflation data, both were sticky in terms of the expectations, and the delivery of the core inflation was quite high versus the street expectation. So inflation was a worry, but as the day progressed, we saw some good gains coming in for the benchmark indices. Advance decline ratio, as I was mentioning, almost 3:2. So 3 stocks gaining versus 2 stocks declining. So that was the broad-based marketplace. If you look at the Nifty 50 gainers right now, we had the IT stocks like Tech Mahindra doing almost 6% uptick in terms of the gains. Apollo Hospitals, after a strong third quarter performance in terms of management commentary, that stock was quite active. Eicher Motors, on the back of good earnings conference call and outlook on premium motorcycles improving, that stock saw some 4% gains. Reliance Industries, as I was mentioning earlier, crossed that 2400 level today and was up almost 2.2%. Adani Enterprise also was one of the top Nifty gainers. On the losing end, HUL had some sell flows. That stock was down nearly 1%. Also the likes of Sun Pharma, ITC, L&T saw some profit taking in trade. So this was the broad market picture. And if you look at the mid cap end of the market, if you see the Nifty 500 stocks, we had the likes of Finolex Cables, GIC Ray, Torrent Power after strong earnings. That stock was up 10%. Tejas Networks also, this is the Tata Group company which helps build 5G infrastructure. There also we saw some good buy flows coming in. On the losing end, weak results by UFlex, because of which the stock was down 5%. Adani Transmission and Adani Total Gas, I think 12-13 sessions of continuous lower circuits has been seen, and downtrend continues here. Obviously, let me take you through the stocks which caught our attention today, and starting with Eicher Motors. And as I was mentioning, one of the top gainers on the Nifty, we had Jefferies, which gave a buy rating on this one post the results. They kept the target at 4,250. Obviously, if you look at the Jefferies logic of Eicher Motors being a buy, is that moving ahead, the outlook for premium motorcycles is improving. The demand is picking up, and if you look at the third quarter EBITDA margins, that rose significantly on a sequential basis, and on an absolute basis, it was a record high for EBITDA. For Eicher Motors. So clearly the commercial vehicle portion and the two-wheeler space doing well for Eicher Motors, and that is the reason why we had most of the brokerages which were quite excited post the third quarter earnings. Obviously, after Eicher Motors, we had another auto ancillary, Bharat Forge. There we saw some intraday declines coming in. The stock went down as low as 8% in intraday trade, settled 4%. The key reason being that the margins got boosted because of a forex gain, and because of the foreign exchange reserves being revalued, we had a foreign exchange gain for the quarter, and adjusting for that, we had the margins which slightly came lower than the street expectations. Another problem with Bharat Forge was its international aluminum forging business, because they have been struggling to get capacity utilization there. They are supposed to get some compensation from the clients. That still has not come in. Obviously, the management is hopeful that the fourth quarter will be good, and FY24 will be great in terms of the defense business, because they have already received an export order for artillery guns, and hence the outlook for FY24 would be good. But probably the street were disappointed with the third quarter earnings, and the street did move into the sell mode, and we saw some serious profit taking as far as this counter is concerned. So obviously, Eicher Motors gaining side, Bharat Forge on losing side. The things to watch for moving ahead in this week would be the earnings of Nestle. Now remember, the FMCG companies so far which have come out with earnings have been quite good. If you look at ITC, Britannia, all of these FMCG companies moved smartly in trade after giving good volume growth, good margin growth, and Nestle also is one stock which will be in focus on the back of earnings. Obviously, we need to see how really is Maggi in terms of product doing for them, how did it fare during the quarter. In terms of milk and milk products, how are they really strategizing themselves, because the competition in the marketplace is moving higher, milk prices are moving higher, so the input costs are moving higher for the company. How do they really plan to pass it on to consumers would be another thing to watch out for. So multiple levers for Nestle, and outlook obviously could be very, very important for other FMCG companies as well. So this is the broad focus list from me, Yatin Mota. Keep logging into moneycontrol.com for various news, views and updates and latest on Indian financial markets. We'll see you tomorrow with my colleague Santo. He's not there today, but we'll catch up with you tomorrow. So keep watching moneycontrol.com and CNBC Awaaz. Thank you so much for joining in.